Scoreholio organizers, this is Ben. I'm going to show you a quick tournament here. Let's say I'm running a 100 team, 16 court fundraiser. I want to run everybody in one big round robin. I'm going to do 4 rounds, and then I'm going to split into the top 32 teams going into one upper bracket with 10 courts, and then a lower bracket going into the another 10 court bracket. So I'm going to just go pretty quick through this thing. If I'm on scoreholio.com or my phone, I would just go ahead and log in. I'm going to do this one under cornhole, but you can choose any sport. As you can see, I have a 100 team fundraiser here. If I look at my setup, I got the name, I got where I'm doing it. Mine's private, but yours would be public if it's open to the public. I have set teams. We're going to do 4 rounds. I have 16 courts, and I have pre-registration turned on. Assuming that everybody went ahead and did pre-registration. So those are my parameters. I'm going to head on into the fundraiser here, and I'm going to go to the admin. As you can see, I have 93 teams over here, and they're checked in. I never check anybody in until the day of. So this is assuming that everybody was over here in this pre-registration. As they got to my event, they told me who they were. I moved them over here. So for instance, I left 2 over here in pre-registration. Let's say somebody comes up to my table. I ask them who they are. They say they're Jonathan K. Typically, I'll click Control F. I'll type in Jonathan, and that will highlight my, I guess I should spell Jonathan correctly. My name of the person I'm trying to find. I would click on them. I'd ask them what their team name is. Let's say they want to be the Scoreholios. And I'm going to go ahead and check in that team. It's going to move them from the pre-registration over to this checked in section, which we would find the Scoreholios right here. So Francis Ford Coppola is the last person to come over. He wants to check in, and he's going to be the corn dogs, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and check them in. So now I have all 95 teams into my tournament. I'm going to go ahead and do my rules, tell everybody thank you for coming out, support a good cause. If it's not a fundraiser, tell them all good luck in the tournament. And I'm going to go ahead and click Start Tournament, and that's going to populate my courts. You're going to see that it's going to change from this Setup tab, which is where you add everybody to the tournament, and it's going to flip over to this Round Robin tab, which is where all the magic happens, and it's going to fill all courts. It's if people pre-registered or you scan them in, or they're following their team, it's going to go ahead and send out those alerts to everybody to get to their courts. Now, everybody would be able to score on their own. They could use player scoring, which if you go to docs.scoreholio.com, you can see how everybody would do that. Or if they're just using their phones, they can go to free play and report the scores back to you. Typically, what I tell people to do is go ahead and use kiosk mode. So if you have tablets out there, you can turn them into a kiosk mode. Also found in our doc section, but you'll see it pulls up every court. So let's say you have one person, one volunteer that's doing 1 through 4. They make sure that everybody gets to the court. They play their game. Court 3 comes up, and Epic Failures is not true to their name, and they actually win this game. As you saw, I went to basic scoring. Score Magic is more for bag tracking and advanced stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and say that, Epic Failure got, not 15, they got 21. Top half of the number goes up. Bottom half of the number goes down. Let's say it was 21-2. And, deuces, true to their name. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and submit that game. It's going to submit the game, go back to kiosk mode, and it's going to put up the 2 new teams, Boomers versus Gold Diggers. And what you'll do is your volunteer will make sure that those 2 get to the board. If it's been about 3 minutes and nobody's heading to the board, go ahead and call out the names. And then, as usual, you could go ahead and click on anybody. Let's say the Gold Diggers aren't getting there. If, I didn't put in first name, last name, but it would be there. They can call out the first name, last name. Let's say somebody comes a little late and they want to join, and they are going to be the late comers because they're late. And you can just add them in. You'll notice that the system's going to go ahead and add them into this list. And because they're, if you're already up to round 1, it would put them at the top of the list and they would get going. So in a round robin, you can add anybody late. So you're going to go ahead and run this. You're going to score it. And, whoever's managing on their tablets or their phones would enter in the scores as they come. And all of a sudden, we're done with the round robin. Now, when they're done, everybody's going to move to here, which is the finish not playing section, and all these courts would be empty. If we're looking at our TV, which is our dashboard, which would be up on the screen for everybody to see, we would see all the courts. Coming up would be empty, and then eventually all of these courts would also be empty because everybody's done. So, and the leaderboard would be over here. So you can see that it flips over to 9 through 16. So everybody's done. All the courts are empty. 4 games are done. What you're going to do is go ahead and head to the bracket tab. In the bracket tab, you're going to click this create bracket. And if you're doing a double elimination, you would choose that. I'm just going to do a single elimination for this fundraiser, or for this tutorial. My courts per bracket, remember, I'm going to do 10 for this upper bracket that has 32 teams. And I'm going to take the top 32 teams to this tournament. So here we go. I got 32. You can check and make sure that the 32 are highlighted green. And I'm going to go ahead and I got 10 courts. I always just double check everything. And I'm going to go ahead and create this bracket. Everybody will be in the order that they were seated based off of the round robin. And now we have our bracket that we can go ahead and run through. You'll notice that our kiosk mode will go ahead and flip over to the new 10 courts and put all the names on there for the kiosk mode that we have. Now, if we look, you can always click this to make it bigger if you need to make it bigger to see everything. But we're going to go ahead and now get 33 through 64 into a lower bracket. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click this additional bracket. You'll see create tournament turned into additional bracket. You do need the at least the $9.99 package for that. I would suggest Pro because you can't do 16 courts without the Pro membership. It's only $20 a month. So I'm going to go ahead and click this additional brackets. What this is going to do is go ahead and make an additional bracket for us. So I'm going to say this is the lower bracket fundraiser tutorial, and it's going to make that tournament by that name. I'm going to choose a single elimination. This one I'm going to do 10 courts as well because I have 20 total, but I can only run 16 in the round robin because that's our max per tournament. I'm going to start this number. You'll see that it starts at number 11, so it'll be courts 11 through 20 that will go to that tournament. I'm going to change my bracket size to 32 because that's how many teams I want to bring. And you're going to see that it says selected 0. That's because I haven't started selecting yet. If I start highlighting teams right here and I get all the way to 64, you'll see that it's going to turn green and say that 32 are selected, which means that my next 32 are together. I got my lower bracket fundraiser tutorial, second bracket ready to go. Going to start on number 11 with 10 courts. And I'm going to go ahead and create this bracket. What you're going to see is it's going to go ahead and do its thing. It might take a little bit because it actually went pretty quick. But it's going to make an entire new bracket. So if I go here and I click this refresh button here, you'll see that this is a tournament, the same tournament. I started the same bracket with that one, but I made a whole new tournament with this one. And if I go into that admin, you're going to see that it has 10 courts, all 33 through 64 there. And then I would have to have my volunteers, whoever's managing this second one, get a new kiosk going just like they did on the first one, and go ahead and pick that. So a couple things. If you go to docs.scoreholio.com, you're going to go ahead and be able to see everything that I just went over. And also on the bottom left, if you have spectators or people that didn't pre-register and you want them to get alerts, you can always go to logos and banners and this follow banner here. You can print them out. We also sell them. Whatever is easiest for you, but that's a good way for people to be able to get alerts during the tournament. Everything we went over today is on the left-hand side. We have split brackets and round robin brackets. You could also bring things back into a championship bracket, all sorts of fun things. How to add players or teams via pre-registration is all right here as well. But that's it. It's a 9-minute video. Hopefully it helps you out. You should be able to run a lot of fundraisers with this if you get up to around 100 teams. My name is Ben. I'm with Scoreholio, and it's easy peasy.